So hello everybody. My name is Emmanuel and I work with Techpoint Africa. So last week we saw some comments from you guys and we really appreciated a lot of them. But there were some comments on YouTube and on Twitter that made us be like, whoa, all right. And we decided to take it personally. So you can see different setting, different sound, different everything. And we're just getting started. Don't worry. You guys called our bluff. So we'll show you what we're made of. But yeah, welcome to Techpoint Africa Podcast. And my name is Emmanuel Paul once again. And right now, all I'm thinking about is how to get $3,500 by next year so that I can get the Apple Vision Pro. And Bolu can definitely very well agree with me, right?
Yeah. The Vision. I think this is, I've not really been part of I don't think I've been part of any serious technological revolution before, old enough to really understand it. Like when the iPhone came out back then in 2007, I was not wise enough then. But now that I'm really old enough to understand how revolutionary this is, I just have to agree and say I was blown away by Apple's presentation of the Vision Pro, and it just makes you think. Not to diss anybody, but Meta has been working on they've been working on VR headsets for a while now. They've pumped tons and tons of money.
Changed their name.
Well,
to capture this VR, AR, or whatever element, right?
Well,
they changed their name to Meta.
True.
Okay.
So they changed it to Meta. We had the Oculuses. I don't know how many of them they did, but nothing was on this level. They didn't do anything that was on this level. And just seeing some of the videos, seeing the reactions of some of the YouTubers that have used it. This is incredible.
But Chingo is not convinced.
Joseph doesn't even care.
No, I think he cares to some extent. As far he's a utilitarian, right?
Yes.
Is it economic utilitarian or philosophical utilitarian?
Economic utilitarian.
Okay, so
and I'm just looking at what he can do. So I will agree with Bolu that. Okay, not agree, but I think it could be revolutionary. Will it be revolutionary? It remains to be seen. But I'm looking at all the potential of what it could enable. But I'm also looking at all the drawbacks to such developments.
okay.
So, you've talked about some of the things you could do. So, you have a more immersive experience, which I think a lot of people want. But on the other hand, I have been, for a couple of years now, I've been particularly concerned about the erosion of community. And I just find myself thinking, what impact does this have, or would this have on community?
So instead of sitting down at home to watch TV with my family, everyone is in our own virtual world.
Exactly.
And can I see what my child is watching?
Maybe you can see it, but it still lacks that personal touch. So no matter how much you want to simulate the experience. So for example, community is not just the fact that we are in one place. There are a whole lot of things. So this is not my forte, but biologists tell us that a handshake, a hug, a peck, all those things they're very, very important to the human development. But we are gradually losing all of that. And so funny thing is, even for people who are well steeped into the technology, you hear a lot of startup founders tell you when they see you at events and they're like, oh, it's so nice to be out. It's been almost 2 years since I was at something like this.
2 years of can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Exactly. And you now have something that is going to, so Apple says it will be available from next year, right?
Yeah.
Now, it's no longer we are 5 years away from it. It could be available by next year if their timelines are accurate. Yeah. So as early as next year, we could be returning. So the only hope I have is that the price will be
keep it out of reach.
Yeah, out of reach for the vast majority of us. So
interesting. Well, I think this is the biggest. I'm equating this to the revolution, the whole PC revolution. That's Microsoft and Apple also spearheaded. Then the smartphone revolution that Apple themselves actually kickstarted. They saw that buttons were clunky And they said, okay, why not just use our fingers to touch? So they moved from desktop computing to mobile computing, and now they're calling this spatial computing. And I'm not even calling this metaverse or video. No. It's actually a computer with an actual chip inside the headset. So it's a computer that you're wearing on your head.
An M2 chip.
An M2 chip. So you're wearing a computer on your head. Yeah, you have a 4K micro LED screen on one eye, then another 4K micro LED screen on another eye. I think that's crazy. I mean, I'm a Hapu hater, and okay, I just said Hapu. My God,
and you're not even Yoruba. Thank God you do this one.
I'm an Hapu hater normally, but it's getting really, really hard. According to Linus, it's really, really hard.
It's impressive, but another question I would ask is: do we really need this?
Okay, so let's take Senegal for example.
Yeah,
that has been facing a huge number of unrests, right? Do you think a society like Africa that kind of needs a lot of political involvement, political engagement, and political activism, whether the economy has been stable or not, do you think a society like Africa could benefit from technologies like this? I say yes, because look at what the smartphone did to political activism in Africa, for instance. So movements that started on Twitter actually went offline and caused a lot of change, right? There's the Occupy Nigeria that happened sometime in 2014, I guess. Then 2014 or 2011, I'm not even sure again.
Occupy Nigeria, I think that was 2015.
2015. Oh, January 1st.
Was it? No. Was it 2015? When did Jonathan leave us?
2015.
Okay, I think
that was when that same year, January 1st, he announced that he removed subsidy and blah, blah, blah. Then it was bring back our girls. Now, I'm thinking of the possibilities, right? Imagine social movements where if you gather together,
personalized, like
if you gather together in one place, you could come and chase you with tear gas. But imagine social movements. Everybody's wearing a VR headset, and you guys are actually seeing yourself and talking to yourself. Now we are hearing that the internet in Senegal has been shut down. So there's a utilitarian utilitarian argument to this.
I still don't see it.
So the people that are fighting now in Senegal, instead of just mobilizing of
sitting in your house. So here's the thing: it's political power, and I'm no political strategist, but people who are smarter than me say that power is not given; it's taken. You can't take it from your screen, man. You cannot.
Well, so
even if you wanted to use it to enable free and fair elections, where you can just sit down in your house
and vote.
For now, you can't take it via a Vision Pro, but I think you will be able to.
Pro.
Oh, okay.
In its current form.
Okay.
I'm looking at future iterations, right? I mean, when the smartphone came in 2007, most of the things we could do with smartphones now, you can't do them now, right? Now smartphones are rivaling actual computers in computing power. They're rivaling cameras in camera power. Now, I'm just imagining the possibilities for African countries like us.
Where I see the possibilities mainly in education.
In education?
Yeah, because now we have a more immersive education experience. Which other I was saying earlier that I also see a lot of utility for it in real estate, in entertainment. So if you remember during COVID, when sports revenues from sports teams were dwindling, I think that was when the NBA started working on a sort of metaverse like play where you could sit down in your house and still have the same experience. I don't know how that project is going, but I think I read somewhere that one of the challenges was that, yes, people loved it, or some people loved the fact that, I could sit in my house, but the feel of shouting in someone's ear in the stadium couldn't be replicated and may never be replicated. So it still plays the barrier because people go to football games, they really do not want to be behind. I mean, even for those of us who, for example, you can't watch Chelsea play, but you can watch them on the TV. You know there is an entirely different feeling from
So I don't want us to go. I've already switched up people, I'm already on Senegal. You're telling me about football. Don't worry. So, but this is the issue for me, right? So there was a protest. Opposition leader was sentenced in
Senegal.
Wild press protests. Then on June 1st, Senegalese government restricted access to social media and basically the internet, right? This is where I see the hypocrisy in African governments. Senegal was one of the first countries in Africa, the second in Africa, to get a startup act to promote digital innovation. A lot of startups are built on these digital technologies that you just restricted. Yeah. So, I see a vision, where global communities or societies, the meaning of a society begins to change across different jurisdictions. So you have people like Afropolitan now. Anytime I hear Afropolitan, it makes me laugh, right? Because I still don't get it most of the time, even after your interview. I'm sorry. But I'm imagining something like this, right? Could we have societies? This is useless social commentary, so just bear with me. Don't take us serious. But yeah, should we have societies, digital societies, that this kind of technology fuels for us?
Would we have a digital infrastructure that can exist?
They will have network.
Without,
I forgot about that.
Physical.
Oli, you want to say something? Talk.
I think yes, it can exist, but I don't think we need it. Do we need virtual societies?
No, I don't think we do.
I don't think we do.
I don't think we do.
So look at this now. Internet just got restricted.
Mm-hmm.
What if this was not even an option in the first place?
An option to restrict.
Right now I'm feeling like I need to take this option out of the hands of our government. I'm seeing. So okay, do you know what? Someone tweeted at Elon Musk to bring Starlink to Senegal because the government has restricted the internet. And the next thing I'm hearing is the person has been killed. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
I saw the tweet.
So they have that option to control your life, whether you like it or not. So could we kind of change how we think about jurisdictions and everything? Like, I want everything to change. I want everything to scatter.
So you are abdicating responsibility or taking responsibility away from the government
to the corporations.
Okay. Do you want that?
Well, do you want that? You guys are the DAO guys. You guys are the ones that says let's be signing. I think I'm leaning towards that.
Okay.
That it's not totally
centralized.
Yes, I lean towards that also. Where I draw the line is where you now exist predominantly in a virtual world. I think you must have seen movies like that and you see how things end. You always see each other. You see each other in the virtual world. Everybody's looking fine, looking nice. But then you go to the person's house and the person is looking very pale, probably even dying and does not even know, right? But do we now have? But can we now have like a system of government or a system of, I don't know what to call it, like of existence whereby power is now decentralized through technology, whereby no one really has that total, like the way the DAO works right now.
So no one has total control.
Yes, no one has total control. It has to be everybody coming together to make decisions. But I mean, there are always downsides to all these things.
So there's something you guys say in political science. They say democracy of everybody, government of everybody.
Government of the people, by the people, for the people, blah, blah, blah.
That is a government of mob rule. That is you are just a step away from anarchy.
Yeah, because I think one of the things that one of the things that happens with like a centralized government is responsibility now rests in certain institutions. Mm-hmm. So imagine if we had to agree on a governing structure for, let's say, our armed forces, because we will need it. If we had to agree on that, that means me, with zero military knowledge, will now be telling you, the military expert with 25 years, basically what we have on Twitter, where I am telling a medical doctor who's been practicing for 25 years that he's crazy and that he doesn't know what he's saying. So now imagine that kind of, because here's the thing, in every fair we're always going to have more, like we're always going to have experts and the total ignoramuses
that will still come and be voting on important decisions.
Exactly. So maybe that's the reason why some people advocate for, I can't remember the name, but I think an egalitarian government where basically the best are in charge. So they know what needs to be done, but then there's still the human feeling. So imagine me having to comment on.
Wow.
The best in charge has his own issues, but let's not even go there.
Yeah, we've gone very far from what brought us.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But you just made me remember this investor. One investor on Twitter that said founders that have not made single revenue in their life is telling Dangote how to or how not to run a refinery or something like that. He's asking why Dangote is building a refinery or whatever. And yeah, we just saw another startup, or it's not a startup, it's actually a public company. And I didn't know them. Tingo Group.
Same here.
Don't know them.
I've never heard of them in my life. The first time I heard of them was when they said they were a unicorn.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time I heard of them. Then I'm now saying that, okay, Debunk Research has done they've done what they know how to do best. They thanked their.
I think Tingo needs to even explain it to me.
Okay, so Tingo, what happened? Who are these guys? Sorry, I've been validating around that whole Senegal and Vision Pro thing because I felt I'm tired of seeing African governments misbehave. They say one thing with their mouth and go and do another thing. I don't think a startup act should be existing in the same country that has internet shutdown. I don't think a startup act should be existing in the same country that has a NIDA code or NIDA act. I'm sorry, but let's move on to Tingo Group.
Let's see how the thing goes. All right, I got that was good.
Yeah, commending yourself. Nobody commended you.
I mean, if nobody can, I have to do it. Right. Anyway, so Tingo, I'm still surprised that a lot of people say they don't know them.
I've never heard of them.
I can't say the first time I heard about Tingo, but I just know I heard them maybe a few years back, before they became the whole unicorn that they claim they are, or they claimed they are. So Tingo, they are like an agri-fintech. They play in two different, is it 2 or 3 different spaces now? So there's a mobile phone arm where they claim to be selling phones to farmers in Africa.
I can't hear you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a mobile phone arm of the business where they claim to be selling smartphones to farmers in Africa. So they claim they have operations in Nigeria and Ghana, and they say they've sold about 12 million phones. I was trying to get the number of phones that Transion Holdings has sold, just to see if you are such a big deal and you've sold 12 million phones. Transion has, I think, about 70% of the smartphone market in Africa.
Yeah.
So you should be very close to what they are doing, right? That's one aspect. They also have the fintech arm where they are also offering financial services to these farmers who are supposed to make up the bulk of their customer base. And then there's those are the 2 major places that
those financial services, is it like credit or insurance?
Credit, insurance. So they're supposed to be offering it to the farmers directly, helping them buy input and all of that.
Okay, so what is the scam?
The scam is that Hindenburg Research says that basically everything there is a scam. The businesses they claim to be doing. So first of all, the mobile arm that we talked about, they are not selling smartphones to anybody. They claim they have contracts with 2 suppliers, UGC and Bullet. Those are like smartphone manufacturers in the US. And while UGC says we don't know you guys, we submitted a bid for a contract, or we bid for a contract to work with you guys, but nothing came out. You didn't even respond to us. So how are we your suppliers? Bullet on the other hand says, yes, we have a contract, but we haven't supplied one phone to you, even though we have a contract. I mean, so it's probably something that was in the works. So when you also check the website of they also have an agri marketplace. Yes, they have a marketplace. So basically, where farmers can go sell things, and then I can go there maybe as a middleman, or I need the products, I can go buy there. So I checked, and the website, in fact, it's not opening. So that's basically the state of that. So Hindenburg is saying that everything about them is inaccurate. There's also the fact that the founder, who claims to have a PhD in rural advancement from a Malaysian university, doesn't have the degree he claims to have, because the university in question wrote back to Hindenburg and said, we do not know anybody that goes by this name. A couple of years ago, they hired a CEO who had to step down after 2 years, saying that there were some things that were happening that he just couldn't make sense of. Well, 2 years is a long time for you to arrive at that conclusion, but whatever. So that is like a summary of some of the controversies that has been swirling around. So I don't know if you heard earlier this year when the guy that's Dozie Mobotsi, that's the founder's name, when he wanted to buy Sheffield United, the deal ended because they were able to the club. I mean, people were able to find out that this guy is not legit, basically. So he's been arrested by the EFCC for fraud in the past, and it was settled. So he's basically, and then he has also been on Forbes, where, like, you know how basically Forbes to prison pipeline is like unmatched. And there's just a whole lot about this guy there's a whole lot about him that is so fishy. And a lot of the things we've seen he's been going around. I think, I can't remember what happened, but I think earlier this year, he was in the news after he decided to buy that Sheffield. And a lot of people were asking, even people in the same space he claims to be playing in, saying, who are these guys? Do we know them? What do they do? So, and Hindenburg, you already know their business model. They do research on frauds, or guys they call frauds, and then they short your stocks. So surprisingly, Tingo is actually listed on Nasdaq, although that was through a reverse merger. So it's not like they
actually IPO'd.
Yeah.
Okay. What's okay, let's not even go into that now.
What a reverse merger is. It's simple actually. So a smaller company buys a bigger company that is already listed, so you take over there. Or just
a smaller company buys a bigger company that's already listed.
Yeah. So imagine me. Imagine Xenox Group acquiring Apple.
Xenox Group, okay.
Yes, acquired. That's small.
Is that not too far? Which kind?
It's small, and this is very big.
It's okay. So, but the company Tingo has actually come out to say that they came out to deny the reports, but I found the label very, very, very weird. They labeled the Hindenburg reports opinion, like. Now they talk that kind of, like, you are just saying what you are saying. But for a report like that with so much allegations and possible tethering on fraud allegations, and you came out to say it's opinion, like, okay, that's your own opinion about, if something is not true, it's not true. If something is true, it is true. This is you, for instance. Imagine coming to meet you, Chingozim, and said, hey, Chingozim, you are a fraudster, you're a Yahoo boy. Are you going to tell me that's my own opinion?
Or I mean, knowing Chingozim might say that.
No, but I just find their response weird.
I mean,
so the question is, are they lying or not? That's what is in my head.
If you ask me, it's one thing for an individual to say, oh, I don't care about the opinions of other people. It's another thing for a business to tell me, I don't care about the opinions of other people. Shey they why me? Like, you have to care about the opinions, because as we saw after the report, their shares, the price of their shares went down, which is something that happens, like, it's pretty common. But you ideally should have, I mean, if their shareholders or stockholders are also not fabricated, right? They have people they will be answering to. So, like, are you also telling them that their opinions don't matter? I don't know. It's a very funny response.
Down by almost 50% in the last 5 days.
Okay, and then you're saying it's an opinion. So, come on now.
I mean, you have to do something to reassure
people that.
Yes.
At least the people who are directly invested in your company. Forget about us.
It's an opinion.
We are not.
We don't have know you exist in the first place. I'm sorry.
But the people who own shares or shares in your company, at least speak to them. So I don't know. Anyway,
has any security operative or
whether he has been arrested or something like that? As at this moment, I don't think I've seen any. But it's probably going to. So, except they had a case on him already, I don't expect them to just go on the word of a media report. It's probably going to take maybe a week or two.
True.
Yeah, so, I mean, Tingo didn't come out of thin air. I think we did a feature on them a few years back. And there's just been that air around them that I was not really sure of. Then, I think there's another company like that on my radar. There's another company. I mean, and Tej. I've discussed this at some points about one company that we also featured. We'll be like, so this is the thing, and it's making me skeptical about the entire agri-tech industry. Like, what is good? This is not the first time we're hearing something happening with these agro-related companies. First, there was the whole debacle with Farm Crowdy and Driver Agric, and those were the most popular ones, and I think they found a way to adjust themselves. But there were a bunch of other guys that were doing weird stuff, and we can't hear of them again. Agro crowdfunding, providing financing to farmers, and a lot of people lost their money, and a lot of people have still not recovered their money till now.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, to be fair, it's not really about the industry. Anybody can
agro financing.
Yeah, anybody can perpetrate fraud in any industry. And once it has an element of finance, it's quite easy, especially if you're dealing with an economy like Nigeria. So one thing that comes with maybe having a lot of poor people is that people kind of, especially with the way Nigerians can be hopeful, they just think or believe that there's this next big break somewhere on the way that, okay, maybe this investment could just bring them closer to it. So yes, I think we will see more of this. We will see more of this, like brazen attempts at defrauding an entire world. We'll see more of it. But I think it's not a reflection of the industry. I think it's just someone who did not know when to stop. That's like,
all right,
or even did not even know that he shouldn't have started in the first place.
All right, so let's even move on from this story, because I don't like hearing stories like this. It's not good. It just reminds me of what one of my friends always tells me: is government is not our issue, be our own issues, right? Because these are the people that will eventually get elected into government seats of power, and this is what you're doing with your company. What will you not do when you become the president, an elected president, or a senator, or anything?
Let's not even imagine.
So yeah, it's a sad situation. But in the world of finance, we're hearing two companies. So number one is Cheaper Cash. They've laid off again, and this time it touched a C-level executive. Then we're hearing Mara too is downsizing, basically laying off their content and marketing team. I don't know what's going on at Cheaper Cash specifically, because I saw them try to bring in some features like charging for cards and all of that. I thought, okay, maybe they want to tighten the ship, but they're still laying off, and it's making me question, like, what is going on?
I guess it's just true, what they say about charging immediately start your business.
Charge from day one, please.
Because
the article.
Because it's very gracious saying I should shout it. It's very important, because once you start and people are like, oh, this is cool, and it's not just for making money. Most people say once you charge from day one, right, it helps with revenue and then the business going on. But it actually does more for you. You actually know what people would actually pay for. If you're giving me something, if I don't really need it, I might keep taking it. I have 1 million users, and because it's not costing me anything. So, but when you charge, you know how valuable this thing. You also know if this thing actually has product market fit. Because if people are actually willing to pay for that, people find this valuable. But then you don't charge them from the beginning, and then we are already used to it, and then you start telling me, this thing, you bring 2K for this one. I say, say this one, we'll collect 500 for this one. And I'll be like, and then I'll just think about it, and I'll be like, I didn't actually need this in the process. You'll be fine. So I guess that's just one, and this might seem like an oversimplification of the entire model of what Cheaper Cash and what a lot of other businesses that do the same thing are saying. But I think in a way, I mean, I'm ready for anybody to say I'm wrong or anything, but I think in a way, these are some of these problems that a lot of them had, right?
Yeah, but how unlucky do you have to be that you raise $150 million Series C and two of your investors basically crashed? There was FTX and Sam Bankman.
I mean, yes, you also have to consider that, yeah.
So the valuation was around $2 billion last year, but now the valuation has been slashed to God knows what. But if it's just a purely economic thing, then is this layoff really economic? Because they are sacking high-level executives, country manager in Kenya or country director in Kenya, and the COO. So is this like a change in direction? Like they need fresh ideas, they need something different to kind of right the ship. Like Jumia did last year, I think. The two CEOs left, then he brought in someone, I think Francis Dufresne, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And I think they've recorded their lowest losses in 4 years. So is this the strategy for cheaper cash now? Could this even affect the CEO?
So when I think of this,
I know an important person left, Wizard. He left to eBanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if this is related, but I just had to mention it.
So when I look at it, so someone said something that when I think about fundraisers, I try to paint that picture. So I was like, I've bastardized money to the point you don't know what $1 million is anymore. You think that $1 million is like 1 million naira. You don't understand what $1 million is. Right. So when I hear that you've raised $150 million and your primary base of operation is in Africa, and then less than a year later, you are laying off what should be key staff. I'm just like, where did all that money go to?
SVB and FTX.
Okay, so let's say you lost a significant amount of money, because that's if you're doing all of this, and in light of these two events, then you probably lost a huge amount of money in the process. Mm-hmm. That's one. Or you blew it on expenses that never yielded the results you were hoping they would yield. Either excessive marketing or paying influencers like
excessive marketing. You push your market though, please.
Of course, market, but you get the point. Or maybe you spent it paying people salaries that you had no business paying. So these are some of the challenges. Now, when you mention the Kenyan country manager, that is probably the one thing I am curious about. So if you remember the last time they conducted layoffs, you mentioned that they'll be focusing on core products and core markets. So are you saying that Kenya is not a core market anymore? Are you saying that
it's possible?
You are now. So yesterday I was looking through the cheaper cash app, and I wanted to see what core products are you going to be focusing on. So they offer investing services. They offer, you can buy airtime, you can buy data, utilities basically. And I was looking at it. So which one is a core product here? Because none of these things are really core. I can buy airtime from my UBA app, even though people have refused to send my money. I can invest on the most popular options in Nigeria, Bamboo and RiseVest.
Bamboo, RiseVest, PiggyVest, Carbon, OPay.
Exactly.
They offer really, really good, crazy interest rates
on all of these people. So
not paid at all, because I bunched all of them together.
So that covers it on the investment side. So
what about the virtual card side? Isn't that a core product?
I guess that's a core product for me.
Is it really a core product? Because you have the other competitors basically coming up with either better products or taking. So here's the thing.
So are you saying, let's make an argument now.
Something's not core because
other people are doing it? Exactly.
No. So there was.
Are their competitors offering better rates for their virtual dollar cards?
That's one. So
I don't think so.
You know, during LSE, Olu Oyinson took a class on getting investments when
no one wants to invest.
Yeah. And one of the things he mentioned, which was very interesting or very important, is market size. So he gave a very interesting example. Yes, 200 million Nigerians, right? But then he used a very interesting example, lending. 200 million Nigerians. The moment you say you want to do lending and you get out there, there's fair money waiting for you. There's Lydia, there's the big guys, OPay and the likes, they already have a better grip of the market. So they will easily beat you. Yeah, they're also more funded or better funded. They can easily beat you. But let's look at this. How many people do you think really need virtual card services in Nigeria alone? This is Africa's most populous country, and I think the second or first largest economy. So how many people do you think need virtual, not want, need virtual card services.
Most people need virtual cards to, like yesterday night, I wanted to sign up for a website that I didn't trust, and it asked me to put my card, and I started looking for a virtual card that I can use and dispose. I was looking for basically a disposable virtual card, but I didn't see anyone, and I didn't want to use my Chika Cash because I had money there. So that is like a primary need. You want to sign up for a service, you want to test their trial version. So we're basically looking at tech-savvy Nigerians.
Yes. And
if you could put a number on tech-savvy Nigerians.
Not just tech-savvy Nigerians.
Or say people that actually need virtual dollar cards.
For me to need a virtual dollar card, so what are the things I want to pay for? There's the usual Netflix or entertainment services. There is maybe, so I'm talking about the...
So why I'm broadening into virtual dollar cards, this is why. This is because a lot of Nigerians do transactions online.
Yes.
If you go by numbers on NIBS and all of that. Then people who buy stuff online, your regular Instagram people, they buy stuff on AliExpress. Those guys need cards.
Yes. How many are they?
Most of them.
Can we say they are up to 400,000 in Nigeria?
You can't make any specific estimates.
Yes.
But you can, I'm
so
just
basically
giving you...
This is vibes, this is back of paper math you are doing, sha.
Yeah, so that is just one market. Another market is people who want to host a website. They want to pay for their domain name.
Yeah. How many are they?
People are opening blogs up and down.
Of course.
People want to do Twitter ads. People want to do Facebook ads. People want to test LinkedIn Premium.
Yeah.
We are broadening the market like this.
Yes.
So me, I'm just saying the people who are likely to do this are mostly tech-savvy people. And I'm not saying you own a smartphone. But I'm saying you are tech-savvy, like you do stuff online, right? You have a job that requires you to do. So you've mentioned entertainment. I've mentioned Instagram traders. I've mentioned people who want to open blogs and pay for domain name. I met someone random that does pay for a domain name. And if you are using, say, Hostinga or GoDaddy, you might not be able to pay with your Nigerian card.
Yeah.
So a lot of the things that people are doing with Naira, their Naira cards, they couldn't do. Then parents who want to send their children money, instead of going through all the stress of Form A, why not use a virtual dollar card?
Well,
so most likely a tech-savvy parent might use a virtual dollar card. Yeah. So we're expanding the market, right? The market is not as big, but if you extrapolate, say 25 million smartphone owners, and you say half of that are tech-savvy.
How many million again?
Let's say 25 million smartphone owners, and you say half of that are tech-savvy. So 12.5 million people. That's a nice market.
Yeah, that's a nice market. So I agree that there's a market there.
Yes.
But my argument is, for you to really be in business long term, you are competing. So in Nigeria, here's the truth. I don't know how many, all of us in this room, I don't know how many international transactions we do in a month.
Do you do international transactions?
In a month.
Onome? Not a lot, but you at least do like once or twice.
In a month. So, okay, let's say over the course of a year, would you do up to 6 times?
More than.
Okay. In a year.
In a year, more than.
So you do 12 now.
You do 12 at the very least.
12 at the very least.
Yes.
I don't do a lot of those transactions frequently. So maybe I'll also be like 12. 12.
No, more than 12.
Okay,
actually.
more than 12.
Like 24.
Okay. So
36
we are like,
think about it.
Some of the, we are probably like the target market, right?
Yes.
So here's the problem. These cards or these service providers are competing with my bank.
Are they? My bank cannot do it.
My bank cannot do it. But here's the thing. I wanted to pay for, I think, my YouTube Premium a couple of months back. And my bank decided that not today. Okay. So I switched to a virtual dollar card provider. And it worked. So after a while, I decided, let me go and try my bank. I don't want to have too many cards. So I tried my bank, and my bank worked. I returned. Now, my bank worked for a month or two and then decided not to work again. Now, if there are a couple of banks, and the truth is, banks have a lot of customers. So if anybody is going to be using these services, then they are probably banked by these commercial banks. So you're basically competing with these, like you're probably providing services to a smaller set of people.
So you are saying cheaper cash does not have the market for the $150 million.
I think that the market isn't so big.
All right, it's him that said it, though, not Techpoint. So, but yeah, I get your point, and it's making me think about the other guys, the paydays, the yeah,
and those other ones offer the same.
There are lots of them.
Exactly.
It's just go and find who has the best rates and stick with that person, because I'll probably get tired.
And you actually, because almost every month they have one
issue or the other.
So the entire industry looks like it's very difficult to play in. So
yeah, check out
somebody will get it. Somebody will get it right.
Yeah, check out Tingo's article on Federal Card. You could see a lot of the things he's saying. He's not just saying it from his head. Let me just try to defend him a bit. He kind of has informed perspective from experts at these companies, at virtual card infrastructure providers, and a player like InterSwitch. What was the name of the other? Bridge Card.
Bridge Card.
So check out that article on virtual cards. And I think we have come to the end of this podcast. We've talked, we've stood for some time, and
Let me see. Okay. What's my heart rate?
Oh, wait, stock like this is to increase your heart rate or what?
No, it's supposed to show that I'm doing a little physical.
You're not doing anything physical. Don't bother yourself. Well, if you use virtual dollar cards or you use your bank card on any entertainment service, try to be careful, because we're hearing hackers leaked 27,000 Showmax passwords online. If they can leak the password, who knows? Your credit card might just be a mile away. Not a mile, just 2 steps. So, then in a momentous occasion, the Pitch Friday, Techpoint's Pitch Friday. So, a lot of people don't really understand Pitch Friday, but Pitch Friday is Techpoint's go-to resource for startups, specifically targeted at early-stage startups. And it's a platform, it's a community that is growing by the day. It used to be downstairs, just a bunch of chairs put together and we have a chance, but now we're using Zone Tech Park. No longer just a bunch of chairs, but a bunch of chairs with a projector screen and nice lighting and nice everything. And right now we're sharing small chairs, but who knows what we'll be sharing in the future. But Pitch Friday just partnered with Justice Hill Accelerator quickly.
Hill Justice Accelerator.
Okay, Hill Justice Accelerator. Very quickly, tell me what that partnership is supposed to do.
Okay, so Hill supports entrepreneurs who are building solutions that improve justice in Africa or in Nigeria for now, since they are currently in Nigeria. So it's tricky to say what startup is supporting justice. It's tricky, but I'll give you an example of one of the startups they've supported, Bankly. So it doesn't look like justice, right? Yeah, but that's the kind of startup that falls into. So here's the thing: if you're building any solution, right, reach out or come for Pitch Friday, for example. And I'm not the one. The Hill team says, come and let's be the one to tell you are not building a justice solution. So please come through on Friday, 3 p.m. Zone Tech Park. I know fuel is more expensive now, but I promise you it will be worth your while. That's how they see it.
Yeah. So, and if you're not in Lagos, Nigeria, you can join us virtually on our YouTube channel. It's already somewhere on our YouTube page. You can set a notification to get notified.
And please, if you're a woman and you're building something, there's a special place for you in my heart. Please come. I promise you will pitch.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. And if you're a woman, please come and attend.
Yes.
And give feedback to entrepreneurs, because it's
women actually give really good detailed feedback.
More than the guys are always. let's not start that. Let's not start that. Start what? Please. We can end this podcast, then you do another video for that. It will not be with Emmanuel Paul as the host.
And I will not be
you.
No, it will not be. I won't be there, please. But yes,
so,
I need we need more women to come. It's very, very important, please.
All right.
I think you guys should cut this out. This is our place. Should we kneel down?
Why do you want to kneel down? What do you want to do again?
Because we need more women to come. Just come. Come. Forget, even if what you're building you're only selling soap on the internet. Sorry, no, that's a bad example. But let's just say that you're building what you think is a very basic service. Please come. You get a lot of exposure. People help you refine your idea. I mean, a lot of women pitch and then you reach out to them and they are kind of shy about coming out. So please come.
So it's a safe space, and I think what you're trying to say, even if you feel like what you're building is
not impressive, you don't have to be Flutterwave. Just come.
And we've had some really, really amazing pitches from women, and solving really, really deep problems. So please just try to come. And don't forget our newsletters, the FinTech Today, the Workaholic. Some changes are coming to our entire content strategy. But we'll be letting you guys know in a few days. And let us know what you think about this new setup. I hope you like it. We're taking feedback constantly. And I said, we're taking this feedback very, very personally. And don't mind that we are holding the mics this time around. We are holding it. Yes, we are holding it. But it's still a work in progress. We're still doing a lot of changes. Maybe by the end of the year or anytime at all, you might just see some behind the scenes of how we're transforming our studio and our recording space. Yeah, it started as an experiment. It started as a side project. It started as something, let's just do it for fun and have fun. But now it's becoming a really, really serious part of our strategy. So yeah, let us know what you think. And if you're able to spot any major change in the studio or in the Techpoint Africa podcast setting, we could have a surprise gift for you. I'm not going to say more than that, but yeah, a lot of cool merch you could get. Okay, I just said more, but it's fine. All right, people, thank you so much for staying with us till now. Yes. And give us feedback. Do you want it shorter? Do you want it longer? Do you want me to stop smiling? And do you want me to speak with a deeper voice or something like that?
I've just started smiling, please.
Good. Wait, you smile?
I am smiling right now. I'm not grimacing. This is a smile.
Bulu, he's smiling.
This is a smile. Except people want to.
Bye bye, people. Bye bye, people.